Good morning. Good morning, good morning, and how do you do? Good morning, and a happy one too. Good morning, happy Monday, happy Motivation Monday. How you doing, everybody? How's it going? That little song I have sung to my children since they were little. And, you know, my kids are grown, right? Well, I have one that's not grown yet. But I have sung that song to them every morning. I used to sing when they were little. And I sang it to Kalela. And sometimes I still sing to Kalela. Even at 13, I sing it to her. So, but good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Motivation Monday. How are you? I hope that you are having a good day on this cold, overcast day here in Ohio. Don't know what it is like in other places. My girlfriend is a newscaster, or she's a news reporter in Denver, and it is snowing in Denver. So I guess we can count ourselves being blessed. It is snowing like they have snow in Denver. So it's cold, but you know, it's a blessed day. Good morning. How are you? Hey, Ernest, brother Ernie. Hey, how are you? Good morning. So, you know how we do. I got something new for you guys today. I normally do my Dunkin', right? I do. Guess what? Today is a different day. Bam! I don't have Dunkin', but I do have TLC. I have Delgada coffee. Can you see that? From TLC, right? So I'm doing something different today. Y'all thought I was going to have my latte mocha decaf from Dunkin', right? I still love my Dunkin', but today it's about the shout-outs. You know, I do the shout-outs every Monday. So today's about shout-outs. So in here, I have TLC. This Delgada. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Delgada. Don't look at my nails, because don't look at them. Anyway, I have Delgada in here, and it's little packets. It is green. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what this is, right? I'm not a TLC person, but she gave me this to try, so I'm trying it. So, okay, it is what it is. So, TLC, right? And it's, the coffee is made from, it has all natural ingredients, of course. Now, mind you, you all know I do decaf. I do not do caffeine. I cannot do caffeine. And so she said she wanted to send me this. I said, okay, I don't do caffeine. She says our coffee is naturally decaffeinated because it is made from green coffee bean extract. Okay, so it's from, it has advantage citrus something in there. You know what? I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to give you her information. It comes in these little packets like this, right? Can you see that? Delgada, okay? Little packets like that. You add it to your 8-ounce coffee, whatever, and you drink it like you would normally drink it, right? I added my creamer. It's good. Now, apparently the benefits of this is it helps your immune system. It's a premium Arabica coffee powdered with a natural strength of the Ganoderma red reishi, okay? A mushroom. Delgada provides the body with key nutrients, and controls appetite and aids with weight loss. So, I don't know. Now, y'all know I'm getting married in a little over a month. I gotta get this belly down because my dress is like banging. I want my dress to look good. So I don't know. She offered, you know, she knows I drink coffee every Monday. So today I didn't give my money to Dunkin', okay? Today, shout out to Joanne Christian. And I'm not gonna give you all her information publicly, but I will tell you her email address is Miss Nubian. I'm not going to read it because I can't see it right now. But Joanne Christian on Facebook. Yeah. And it's the Delgada coffee. What I'll do is I will post it down below. as you guys can see it, right? So yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna show it to you again, the Delgado coffee. Oh, that's TLC. Wait a minute, where's the Delgado part? Ah, you can tell I don't do this. There it is. Bang! Delgado. Okay, so you guys can look her up. Joanne Christian, look her up. And the coffee is good. It's good. So we'll see how I like it. This is my first time trying it. You know, we'll see. You know, who knows? Who knows? So shout out to head wrap for the week. My girl Tiffany Ware, glamhoarder.com. Come on, y'all. Come through with the head wraps. I need more head wraps, right? Come through with them. Come through. Let me cut this car off because, you know, I'm sitting here idling. I don't want to do that. So, I did not put a topic at hand because I thought this day that I would allow you guys to type in here what you want to talk about today. Right? But it's all about motivation. Whatever motivates you. So, the first person that types in there a topic of discussion. Now, I am going to chat about Kirk Franklin for a second. We're going to talk about Kirk for a minute, right? But we're also the topic in hand. I want you guys to choose a topic, right? But let's talk about Kirk Franklin for a second, shall we? Let's get into it. He's blowing up the internet, right? It's viral, right? Kirk Franklin went off on his child, right? Because his child was being disrespectful. Apparently, they've had issues with this child before. Now, listen, if you're a parent, I need you to chime in on this. If you're a parent, chime in on this, okay? Because I feel like there are things that happen. First of all, we are human, okay? We are fallible beings. We are fallible. We mess up, right? So I want to know what your opinion is about this. Let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about this. So as you all know, whenever we talk, whenever I come and chat with you guys, I always have a personal story or something to say about my life. So I'm putting myself out there and being transparent. And so I put some lotion on because my hands are dry. So that we can, you know, be real with each other. So that's what I always do. So let's talk about parenting for a second. Now, again, you guys know my dynamic. I have 5 children, and 4 of them have autism. Hey, Denise, how are you? Speaking of autistic children, Denise had one of my babies. Hi, Miss Denise. So we're talking about parenting. We're talking about for Kirk Franklin for a second, right? Okay. So as a mother of 5 special needs children, now I use the word special needs. My children are very capable. I want to make it very clear. Autism is not a limitation for them, right? The anxiety stuff that comes with different things, sometimes they use that anxiety to build, right? But as a parent, we get overwhelmed at times. Things happen. We have to be real with each other. We have to be honest with each other that we mess up sometime, right? So I had talked about, back in a few videos some weeks ago, I talked about letting it go. Right? We talked about let it go. That was one of our topics of conversation. And we talked about how it's important for you to let things go and not hold on to things. If you've done something to someone, ask them for forgiveness and move on, right? Or say something happened to where you couldn't go back and change it, right? Can't go back and change it. You got to let it go. I talked about something happened where I was holding on to that thing and it was bothering me, right? So, and I also talked about how when I fuss at my kids, that sometimes I'm like, Mommy, sorry. I'm sorry I yelled at you. You were tripping, but I'm sorry I yelled at you. And I love you and all that good stuff, right? So we have to be transparent with our children. We have to be honest with our children. And we have to forgive ourselves about things that we may do or may not do in regards to our children. So let's talk about Kirk for a second. I want to know what your opinion is about this, right? So I've seen all the posts. I've seen all the memes. Somebody made a TikTok that was wild. It was crazy. I'm going to share it. I think I'm going to share it. Okay, so what is your opinion, though, right? Was he wrong? Was he wrong for yelling at his child or cursing at his child, right? Now, I'm going to be transparent again. I have told my son Kellen on many occasions, boy, if you don't straighten up, if you don't stop that, I'm going to beat your ass. I have said that before. I don't know if I said the curse word. I probably said I'm gonna beat your butt because I don't curse. I probably thought it in my head. But I have said that on many occasions. Boy, I'm gonna beat your butt. Okay, Carmela, hi honey, how are you? So, and Carmela, I need you to, if you're okay, I need you to send me a picture so I can show your pictures, okay? I have one in the house, but I want one of your new ones. So, um, how do you deal with that? Like, as a adult, as a parent, we have to get on our kids. So now, again, the scenario is his son was being disrespectful and has been disrespectful for some time, and his son was tripping. And the fact that he recorded that means that he was instigating his father. He knew he was recording. He knew what reaction he was going to get out of his father because they've probably had that interaction before. So I feel like it was a setup, right? This child clearly has some issues, right? But do you feel like Kirk was wrong for telling him he was going to break his foot up in his ass or something like that, right? So Carmela says, I feel like he shouldn't be canceled, but he spoke to him in an abusive manner. Okay. Now, when Kirk made the apology, right, he said that my son, we've had major problems with my son. I apologize. I should not have done that. My son, as you can see, he recorded it. He should not have done that. But this is not the first time we've had this interaction, apparently. This is what his conversation was. And then his daughter came and she posted something as well, stating that, hey, we've had this issue for a long time. Cut my car back on for a minute. We've had this issue for a long time. We've been dealing with this with him for a while. It is what it is. So Carmela also says everyone is trying to normalize abuse. Say they were cursed out about that's abuse. Okay. Well, Carmela, I think I can agree to disagree with you in certain aspects. Here's what I think happened. I think that Kirk's children are privileged, right? I'm just going to be honest. I think they're privileged. I think that they have lived a life of luxury. They're Kirk Franklin's children. Kirk makes buku money, right? I've met Kirk on several occasions because you all know what I do. I'm in the industry, from time to time with my clients, and I meet people. Kirk was cool, but I feel like his children are privileged. Okay. So, you know what? I get that. She asked, why didn't he apologize to his son? Well, again, I can't answer that question. I would love to answer that question. Okay, right. Exactly, Denise. That's exactly what I said. Denise is saying his son is a grown man and appeared to bait his father. It was a setup. Right? So we don't know. And then Kirk did say, Carmela, he didn't play the whole thing. Apparently he didn't record the whole thing, right? Had he recorded the whole thing, I'm pretty sure we would have heard the whole conversation and kind of how things ended. What it sounded like to me, and again, I'm speaking from a parent with 5 kids. My children are grown, real grown, right? And I've had to go there from time to time, right? I've never put my hands on my kids, so that's a difference. And I haven't verbally abused them ever. Ever have I verbally abused my children. But I have fussed at them on many occasions, like, boy, if you don't get yourself together, girl, look, I'm not having this, whatever the case may be. So I feel like, again, yes, it was a setup. We don't know the full story behind it other than what we saw, unfortunately. And yes, I believe he was baited. I agree with Denise. And like I said earlier, it was a setup, right? So I think in this case, I can't judge or disjudge and say, okay, Kirk, you were wrong. Now, using that type of language to your children, I don't do that. I don't care how many times I get angry with them and how many times I may fuss at them for something they've done wrong or if they've been disrespectful. I don't do that. Now, we're not talking about a child here. Let's remember, this is a grown man. He is 32 years old, 33 years old. At 33 years old, why are you calling your dad fussing at him anyway? Is it because you want something from him and he's cut you off? Because you've been privileged as a child growing up and you've had everything you needed, and then finally they cut the apron strings loose and said, you know what? I'm done with you. You're going to stand on your own. You're a man. Make it out there on your own. We've given you the tools. Do it. I feel like that could be the issue. Because at 33 years old, why are you calling your father going off on him and making him cuss at you? What could be the issue, right? And why would you, if you love your father and you appreciate your parents for the life they've given you, why would you put it on social media? Why would you do that? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So I would say for Motivation Monday, let's get back to Motivation Monday. I would say as a parent, sometimes we mess up. We do. You know, we mess up where we can, again, he cussed at his children. He messed up. He sinned. He messed up, right? For cussing at his children. Using profanity to anyone, for that matter, is wrong. There's nothing right about that at all, because he was angry, right? So him apologizing was good. Carmela said, why didn't he apologize to his son? I think that he could have tried to, actually, Carmela, guess what? In his apology, he said, and I quote, we've been in counseling, and we called the therapist to get on the phone to help with this situation. Okay? If you recall, I don't know if you saw his apology. So he tried to build the bridge back, or repair the breach, if you will. So I have to say, again, as a parent, how do we rectify this situation? How do we recover from this, right? Kirk's going to be fine, right? Money-wise, Kirk going to be fine. Kirk's stuff is playing over and over and over again he gets residual money. And, you know, if you know anything about the industry, the business, I actually have a song out there that I think I got $15 for. But the more they play your music, and now he's a viral. This has gone viral. All the stations are playing his music. He has his own Sirius XM station. He gets paid for that as he plays his own music. Kirk's gonna be fine financially, but will he be fine with his family, right? So that's what the problem is here, right? Is getting his family together. So I think, and I would implore him to, continue counseling, but also, you know what? And as parents, you guys would agree to this. There comes a time when you have to let go. And you have to stop fighting for your kids. If they don't want to straighten up, and especially if they're grown. These are grown kids now. Talk about grown. Not kids who are still under your roof at 18. You have raised them the best way that you know how to raise them. If you have loved your children, if you've nurtured your children, if you have reared them in the way they should be reared, then you have to let go. Because I think that Kirk needs to let go. I think his mother, his wife, needs to let go. Because apparently they are still connected to this young man in a way to where he is still dependent on them, or whatever the case may be. He needs to let go. They need to let go. So I think as a parent, sometimes we have to let go. Absolutely, Carmela. Any family that's hurting during the situation, it's hard. Like this, and then you put it out there like that, so now he's got to air his dirty laundry outside of his house, of his tent, as we say it, right? So I feel that there comes a point where you have to let it go. You have to give it to God and say, you know what? The Most High's got to handle this for me. Because I've done all I can do for this child. I've done counseling. I've done, and I think what Kirk was trying to do was not only protect his family, but protect his reputation. So now it's out there, right? There's nothing he can do about it. Sometimes God has a way of doing things. So now it's out there. The world knows what's going on in his house and his family, right? It's been exposed. So now he needs to recover from this and how to deal with it. Good morning, Sissy. Good morning, Alethea. Sis, I hope you saw my drive-by invitation for the bachelorette party. You and I talked about that, so I hope you saw it. So anyway, Denise said, we have to let go. I'm learning to let go. It's hard, but necessary. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. Carmela's saying the wife is not the mother. He has, okay. Well, then maybe the other mother. See, See, that makes so much sense now, right? So this child is probably dealing. Oh wow! So that's a whole nother scenario. So you think about it, right? So if he is not her child, and so he has this perfect looking family, right? Over here with his wife and the children he has with his wife, and then he has a son. So, see, this makes so much sense. So I bet you that child is going through rejection issues. He probably has a spirit of rejection, right? He probably is feeling some type of way. He probably is feeling unheard or unloved, or maybe he feels like he's the odd man out, or whatever the case may be. You know, you think about that. So, Carmela, thank you for sharing that, because see, that puts a whole nother insight on this whole situation, on this whole dynamic. It really does. So, even with that, I still say that Kirk needs to let it go. He needs to tell his son, I love you. I cannot continue doing this with you, but I need to let it go. I believe that that is what Kirk needs to do. And as a parent, I'm gonna tell you, although I can't complain about my children. My children are awesome. You know, other than, you know, some of the challenges I have with my autistic children, with Kalela and Kellen, those two in particular, you know, having to do a lot with them. I'm so blessed with my children. But I will tell you, my oldest daughter made a decision that she felt led to do. She still wanted my support. And I'm like, okay, honey, well, if you said God said it, then okay. It's not for me to say anything, right? That's where we were with that. And as a parent, I supported her in her decision. She was grown. Okay, and although she was grown, she was still in my home. We were still connected. I'm still very much an integral part of my children's lives, right? So I had to let it go and say, okay, there you go. And she's doing her own thing, and she's doing her thing, right? However, we have to let it go. And I think as parents, that's the hardest thing for us to do, especially if you are used to doing what you always do. I'm sorry, there's somebody delivering a package for me. I have lots of Amazon stuff coming because I'm getting married and I'm sending stuff to Ghana and I'm taking stuff with me. So, yes, he comes with the package. I hope it's for me. He has several packages. Oh, my. Anyway, so, yeah, it comes from Walmart. So, with that being said, I think that that's something we should think about. That's something we should pray about when it comes to our children. And we should just, sir, you can just leave it there on the, thank you. Oh, that's, my cat is fine. Yeah, he's fine. My cat is by the door, and my cat is, I guess he's watching the door. He's such a tomcat. He's so funny. He's like a dog. That's crazy. Carmela saying, I feel even if Kirk didn't agree with what he said, he could have still listened to his son. That's what a lot of grown children want. You know what? That's very true. So again, I think, going back, that I believe he did listen to his son, because as he said, they've been in counseling. So they've been trying to make a point to rectify the situation, whatever situation is. And I'm curious, I believe that now that it's been out in the open, I believe that now Kurt is probably going to have to be more transparent about the situation. And I believe that if he, as a PR person, as a PR professional, if I was his publicist, I would have him schedule him for an interview and speak with Oprah. Not Iyanla. I don't like her, and that's a whole nother story. Not as a person, I don't like her methods, so I wouldn't use her as this type of thing. But maybe Oprah or another type of, TV or newscaster who can speak and talk about it, and he can share his story that way. So that's just my opinion. As a PR person, I would do it, because now he has an opportunity, he has a platform. Either you use it or you let it go, and it can destroy you, or you can learn from it, or you can use this platform to help people grow and use your situation and your life as an example to help other people. So I think I would leave us with that your life, when you're dealing with things, and especially if it's kind of outgoing, if it's out there, that you should set an example and use your life as an example, and to use that situation to help other people. So I think I'm going to leave that with you guys with that. So with that being said, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Reasons Pieces, I love you guys. Have an awesome rest of your Monday. Thank you, ladies, for joining me for this talk. It was great. And we're going to pray for Kirk and his family, right? So have an awesome rest of your Monday. Have an awesome week. And yes, we'll talk about that. I had a client who, Carmela's asking me, she's saying we got to talk, and she want to know why I don't like Iyanla Vanzant. It's not that I don't like her. I don't like her methods, right? Her methods of counseling, to me, can be a bit divisive and kind of, when you're producing a show, and actually she left her show, if you guys remember, and I believe that could be why. I have a client who was on her show, and unfortunately, they twisted and edited the show to make it seem like he was the scapegoat for his client's problem. And that wasn't the case. And it caused division with them, but they got back together and they're fine. But yeah, I just didn't like that. So unfortunately, and she's still auntie, but I'm glad that she's leaving the show, because I think that she needs to leave the show, and do her own thing under her own control. Because when you get in there and the producers, it's a show, it's business, it's TV. It's, and you have to be creative and be colorful and all that stuff and create these scenarios. And so, unfortunately, it looks bad and it hurts people. And I think with that situation, she got a huge mouthful, because it was out there. My client made sure the world knew what was really happening and how they edited everything. And they cut everything out he said, and made it seem like she was getting on him when they actually had a conversation, really. So it was really kind of hard. So yeah, it was that is what I didn't like. And I've even seen where initially I'd liked that show, because she actually has been doing life coaching for many, 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 many years. She was on another show where it was a bunch of women in a house, and they would come in. It was a series, and I forgot the name of the series, but Tawanda Braxton was actually in the series. And the women came in, they moved in, they did the work, and they got to do what they wanted to do. And Tawanda actually recorded by herself. I have to look that up, and I'll show that to you guys later. But she's been doing this for a long time. And so initially when she started, I thought she was great. And I thought that her applications were great. But then later on, as it became more, the ratings went up, and it became more Hollywood and became more of a production, it got ugly and it got nasty. And the way that she would yell at people, and she was instigating people sometimes, it just that kind of hurt my feelings, because I really like her. I really like her. She went through it with Oprah for a minute, and she reconciled with Oprah, and I was like, great, she's back on the right track again, and this is great for her. And so, that's kind of the issue. But anyway, with that, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today for Motivation Monday. So with that being said, have an awesome day. Have an awesome rest of your week. I will see you guys next week. All right. Peace, y'all. Bye, Reese's Pieces. Bye. Bye.